Everybody, welcome, welcome. You have found the right video for times that we're in, for the things that's going on. I have a warning or a uh, I have it's information that I want to share that hit me really hard this morning. And at first it was like a message. It pushed me a feeling that I got, pushed me very hard to say, to let people know that Almighty God Yahweh has somebody that He's using, an anointed one, Messiah. And in the Hebrew, the Old Testament simply means an anointed one. That's the word that came to mind, and it came so strong that the feeling early this morning almost took my breath away. It was a deep, deep feeling in my stomach that I felt like was put there by Yahweh, by Almighty God, to tell people about this. And and so when I thought about it, I was thinking like, well, what Messiah is the one that's going to usher in peace and take and be the on earth and take the lead uh, for the kingdom of Israel during that time and the future times. I looked at those verses, but they didn't seem to click with the feeling that I was having. And so I was like, well, is it some great leader, Israelite leader? I didn't get that. So then as I looked, after I looked at those scriptures, I prayed about it. I said, what is it that I'm feeling, God? And the feeling, it became more clear that it it may be, and I'm doing the best to my ability to tell you. And I pray that I prayed about it, so this is what I got. That Yahweh, especially this is for especially people living in the United States, but this chosen person that God is using, what he does will have effects that's felt all over the world. He's using somebody, and at first the person that Yahweh uses, it will appear that this anointed one or the person that he's using is doing the will of the people. It's going to seem like the person is doing his own will. It's going to seem like he's operating out of his own power, and he's going to be doing grandiose things, making grandiose claims, making big claims. He will accomplish certain things. But what people, most people will not realize about this person who Almighty God has chosen is that this person is actually a tool being used by Almighty God Himself. And the wise will understand it. Just like in Daniel chapter 12, it speaks about it when God told Daniel, when he was told, the angel told him, he said, go, some things aren't for you to understand. You will go to rest, and in the latter days you will be brought back up again. But he says these things have been sealed into the later times. But it also speaks of the wise understanding these signs and the things that's coming upon the earth during that time. The wise will understand. And there be many people who will not understand what they're seeing. This person that Almighty God is using will be exceptional. They'll be the type of person that is willing to do things and say things that nobody else is. It's a person that has all their life, without knowing, they have been cultivated by Almighty Yahweh to be exactly who they are now at this time, to be able to carry out His will. All their experience, all the things they've said, all the things they've done, the way that they were raised, the family background that they come from, the things that they were taught about life, values, the things they were taught about business, and all of that. is going to manifest itself into one big into their quality that's needed in order to carry out this purpose that God has. And nobody else could do it. The person who's doing this that God is using is the way that they got into this position is exceptional in itself. Just the exceptional the way that they did it. But it will appear that that things that it'll be regular things that's happening. It'll be things like this decision, this that, or this person will lead for this to happen. But what's going to happen is that actually it's going to lead into bigger things. It's going to lead into huge occurrences, unthought of occurrences that nobody would ever think could happen. The person's going to start out with things that are seemingly small, but it's all going to build up. It's all going to build up to some type of grand finale, some type of huge grand finale, an enormous prophetic, prophetic meaning something that God uses to point to the future, something that Almighty God Yahweh is using for his own purposes to fulfill future events that will point toward his even farther off purposes that are coming. But none of this that I'm speaking of is far off. It's already here. It's already upon us. It's very possible, and it likely will be, that the things that this person does will send shockwaves around the world. It will be like people are going to be looking like, I can't believe this person did that. I can't believe this person said that. There'll be signs. So, another thing that I want to say is that Almighty God can use anybody who He wants to. He can use, just like the Cyrus the great leader of the Persian Empire, who freed the Israelites from Babylonian captivity. God called him his anointed, okay, and and even though he's not an Israelite, he used Cyrus in order to free the Hebrews and to help uh, them to rebuild the temple. He encouraged that. So he can realize that Almighty God Yahweh, for his purposes, especially for the end times, prophetic times, or any time period throughout history, Yahweh has used and will use anybody he wants to carry out his purposes. He uses people to carry out punishments against others. He uses people to be blessings to others. He uses people that are good men. He uses bad men, good women and bad women, all for his purposes. So remember that Almighty Yahweh, he can use anybody who he wants to use. Almighty God can use anybody who he wants to use. Let me say that, and there's a reason why I'm saying it like that. No, I'll tell you later. Almighty God Yahweh can use anybody who he wants to. And so now Now, in the Hebrew scriptures, in Hebrew, the word, I'm reading the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, and under the definition of Messiah that's used in the Bible, it says the basic meaning of the Hebrew Mashiach and the Greek Christos is anointed one. So in Greek it's Messiah, in I mean a Hebrew Mashiach, and in Greek Christos means anointed. But in the Old Testament, the word is used of prophets. So prophets were anointed, priests, kings. and they were consecrated to their office with oil. The expression the Lord's anointed and its equivalent is not used as a technical designation of the Messiah, like the special person necessarily, but there is spoken of another king in the line of David that is to come. But this person is not that Messiah or anointed. This person has been anointed to do God's will, and from what I get, this person will bring in judgment. This person will bring in, and some people may already have ideas of who they may believe this person is. I'm not. I wasn't. I'm not saying a specific name because I was not given a specific name. It was just put on me to put this information out about that there's somebody that's here, and what they're going to do is coming. There's somebody here that God right now, very importantly, is using in a way that we can imagine, that will ultimately perhaps bring in judgment and shake things up and expose things that need to be exposed in a way that we've never seen before. Uh, and I'll tell you something else. This what I get from this. This Messiah has something to do with the X that was made over America with the 2017 total solar eclipse, and the 2024 solar eclipse was made an X over America. That person, the Messiah, has something to do, or the anointed person that's being used by God has something to do with that. And so time will unravel the ultimate purpose and the ultimate things that will come. But often what I'm finding is that one sign, or one prophetic sign, or one clue that God leaves to another clue, and that clue leads to another sign, and that sign and so many things are implicated. Okay, something else that I just hit me. This okay, something else, and this is the final point. What I another thing that I'm getting from this is to watch what the anointed person, this person will say things, and there will be something that happens afterward, possibly, depending on how major it is, or depending on Almighty God's will. Watch, it'll be something that we will watch what the person does. And if it's and there could be something that happens right after it. There could be something that the person says, and pay special attention to things that are said about the children of Israel, who were the African Americans, and the West Africans and Bantus, and the people sent in the transatlantic slave trade to all parts of the Western Hemisphere, to the South America, the Caribbean islands, all those places. But pay special attention to what the person says about the Israelites, or the true children of God, the true Jews who are African Americans, and what happens afterward. Pay attention to what he does to, or against, or for the African Americans, and then what happens after. There may be some patterns. Peace and blessings to you.